KFFL Week 13. I'm James, aka Playmakers.
My name's Frank. Very happy Steelers fan. Shouldn't have won that game this week.
Yeah. You guys pulled it through, though. Ben Roethlisberger almost threw 3 touchdowns to old D. Johnson.
I don't care. Just no interceptions. Cool.
I'm just saying that he still got it. He's still able to throw it a little bit.
Hey, man, but it's like, if we get a new quarterback next year, that's good, too. Hey, let's talk about our stuff this week. Let's talk about the MVP first. Our MVP of the week is Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Throw him up. He's got 30.7 fantasy points, 123 yards, 4 total touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. That's what gave him that 30 points.
All over Chicago. Chicago had 4 interceptions, too. Man, they capitalized on making the points happen.
What happened to Andy Dalton? He just
Andy Dalton stinks.
Started like 2 years ago, and now he's like one of the worst quarterbacks.
No, I thought it was this year. Last year he was with the Cowboys last year.
Yeah, but I thought he started with the Bengals like a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, that's
a
sad story.
I'm just saying, just a couple years ago, he was on a starting playoff team, and now he's like one of the worst quarterbacks.
He went to a playoff game with him. Yeah, no, I don't know. That stinks. But let's more about Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's still doing it, coming back after 2 weeks off.
Doing the arms and the legs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's doing the Kyler Murray stuff.
He's doing it. He's back out there. He's doing the thing.
Yeah, one of his passing touchdowns was a crazy pass where I swear when he threw it, he couldn't see where he was throwing it to.
Well, I'm just checking your phone that.
Yeah, because it's a crazy pass.
Oh man.
But that's the MVP, Kyler Murray, and let's talk about the dog. Who got the dog this week?
Dog of the week is, you know who it is. That's you, James.
It's Tyreek Hill. He had 2 receptions for 22 yards, scoring a measly 2.2. That's a lot of 2s.
What's the big drop? How many points did he lose?
He lost. He was projected for 12.6, so that's a 10.4 point loss. Not good. And what's up with the Chiefs?
And the Chiefs got that win with the Broncos. That's just the Broncos.
Yeah.
They beat the Broncos.
But it was just a sloppy win.
But hey, let's move on to this week's matchup.
All right, so the first matchup, we got Postal, at least formerly known as Postal. He changed his name to King Money Hit, and against the Playmakers. And this was an extremely close game, 137.8 to 138.4. I end up winning by 0.8 points.
Look at all the pieces. Quarterbacks working on both sides. The only thing that wasn't working for King Money Hit is Gardner Minshew wasn't the best doing it at the 4 quarterbacks. We got Saquon Barkley underperforming for a running back. Najee Harris, usually putting up to 14 points, average nearly at 10.7. Rough game against the Ravens, but all the pieces that didn't work for him. But man, George Kittle, 30.6.
Yeah, George Kittle almost got the MVP.
That's a good piece. That's a great piece right there.
Yep, but George Kittle was the one bright spot on the 49ers.
How's the Vikings defense do that bad against the Lions? I do not know.
Yeah, who knows?
But best pieces for the Playmakers. We're talking about Tom Brady being Tom Brady, Zach Wilson now being starting quarterback for the Jets. Easy points right there. But we're also looking at Deontay Johnson having a game with Big Ben. Actually, having old school Big Ben playing well. 2 touchdown passes, 8 receptions, 105 yards. Awesome.
Yep, he had a pretty good game. I had some pretty good pickups too with Sony Michel starting him because I knew Henderson. Well, I didn't know, but I had a feeling Henderson is going to be out, and he was. And 121 at TD came up pretty big for me.
And it looks like Tom Brady's favorite pieces, Rob Gronkowski this week.
Gronkowski has a clip of him in Atlanta going shopping, and he says some silly rap, so I'm going to play that clip. But it's about him doing nothing but scoring TDs in Atlanta.
Oh, man.
I'm headed to Atlanta where the players play, and tomorrow I'll be scoring all day.
Bad rap, but he was telling the truth because that's what he does. He just scores TDs.
He's digging on them. But let's move on to the next matchup.
All right.
Next matchup is the Fluffy Little Buddies taking the loss at 98.7 to 129.5 against Nothing Is Sacred. We're looking at the pieces right here. Quarterbacks underperforming for Fluffy Little Buddies with Joe Burrow underperforming. I would say underperforming.
Yeah, both of those guys, to me, for quarterbacks, did okay.
But Joe Burrow usually puts up at least 20 lately.
Well, I don't know. Lately, he's been putting up at least 20, but
2 interceptions,
It's
losing
pretty
out to Justin Herbert. It's good to see a quarterback matchup on fantasy and on TV having to play out right now because Justin Herbert, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 1 interception.
Yeah, but he still had a pretty good game. He had a nice run too, and Justin Herbert caught a touchdown pass.
Man, he's doing all these things. Maybe he has to be Michael Knocking. Pieces that stick out to you. Stephen Diggs not really having a good game. DeAndre Hopkins doing all right. Bills defense sticking it up with the snow game.
Well, Madison sticks out to me because he's the backup running back for the Vikings, and he pulled out a pretty good game from his end.
Even though lost.
Yeah. Elijah Moore for the Jets also had a pretty good game too. Elijah Moore he's another rookie. And I think he's actually pretty good. It's just he don't have good quarterbacks throwing to him. And he finally, the last few games, he's finally getting some targets.
Keenan Allen doing great as a tight end.
Mm-hmm. Mark Andrews should have had a bigger game, but had the biggest drop of his life.
Gibson for Washington in the running game against the Raiders. Man, playing against the Raiders, easy points. They're broken. They're a broken team.
Yeah, Gibson had a nice receiving touchdown too.
But man, nothing sacred, taking the win.
All right, so matchup number 3, we got Big Green Meanies versus Arma's Army, 100.5 to 93.1. So let's look at the pieces, and then first thing that stands out to me is Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp finally back.
We got 30 points. We got 40 points again, y'all. That's what we want.
Yeah, it's also Matthew Stafford had a pretty good game. No interceptions, 295 and 3 TDs. Lamar Jackson, tough game, but
defense.
Yeah, that
defense saved our butt.
Steelers defense is still hanging in there, still for reals.
But the thing that's really sticking out to me is Josh Allen underperforming. But even though the reason why we know he underperformed today against the Patriots was in the middle of a snow game where the wind even played a factor, and that Patriots defense just strong.
That's not bad actually because of how bad the conditions were for that Buffalo game. But
it could have been different.
But he had a couple. Even him, there was a couple of drop passes that should have been caught. But I mean, that's the Bills got to get a running game. With no running game, it don't matter. They're just gonna lose every time.
Underperforming pieces we got over here. Chase Claypool not being a good target over there in Pittsburgh, not getting as much receptions. Hollywood Brown over here for the Ravens not getting that much attention because now
Hollywood Brown got hurt.
Yeah,
that's what. So he didn't play the whole game, and he got seriously hurt. I think he might be out for a few weeks, not just this 1 week.
Man, as long as he's back in the playoffs. Russell Wilson having a decent game back, actually looking like an okay quarterback. DK Metcalf not getting too many receptions. And Montgomery. I love that guy.
Yeah, against the
okay games or great games.
Against the Cardinals too, which is pretty impressive.
That's all they were able to do. The run game was the only thing worth using.
Yeah,
Dalton ain't doing shit.
I mean, and he did get 90 yards, but that was him pounded. I wonder how many attempts or carries did he have.
Either way, Big Green Meanies getting the win over Arma's Army. But let's move on to the next matchup.
All right.
We're looking at Mike's Mafia taking the loss against Swine Riders at 77.7 to 87.6. We got a lot. Man, look at these quarterbacks. Quarterbacks doing horrible all over the place, except for Kirk Cousins, but still taking the loss against the Lions. We got Matt Ryan. Hey, 297 yards. He's in Tampa. Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Matt Ryan actually had a decent game. Just couldn't get no touchdowns, so no touchdowns.
Got the yards. Carson Wentz not getting to win it. I mean, he beat Houston. I think that's more the run game doing stuff.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz don't really have to do much when you got Jonathan Taylor on the team.
And then Dak Prescott. I mean,
the Cowboys. They got the win.
It didn't look clean.
No, it didn't.
Leonard Fournette getting the yards again as a running back.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette is he's turned into a receiving running back.
He's a good piece over there. Like he's looking like a decent running back again.
This is a little ridiculous.
James Conner looking great as usual. I know you're great again.
Yeah, it's always bitter when I see James Conner play well.
Amari Cooper not getting as much attention. Dylan.
He got hurt, and he might be seriously hurt too. Talking about in the season hurt, so that's kind of sucks for Thielen.
Let's see.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they still got Justin Jefferson, but yeah, that when you got a piece like that, he's a major piece.
All these players performing, underperforming. Cowboys defense doing decently. I don't know how to feel about all this, but Falconers got the win. They barely got through, but they'll take it.
Yeah, they got the win against a horrible, pathetic Saints offense. Just imagine they play a decent offense with a decent quarterback. They're gonna have a chance.
Let's play the next matchup.
So the last matchup, we got Possible Moose versus the Bounty Hunters, 130.7 to 105.6. Moose with the commanding wins. Look at this pieces. See, quarterbacks Carr and Tia, how do you pronounce his name? Tua
Tagovailoa.
Whatever that guy's name is.
Oh man,
that guy is actually playing well.
Yeah, 5 wins straight for the Fins.
Yep, he kind of gets a bad rap in the NFL, seems like, but to me, I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
He really is. I don't know why. I guess it's because he's still young. I guess there's just they expect a lot out of him coming out of Alabama, I think.
He is playing well. Like, I'd rather have him than several quarterbacks that are in this league.
Picked him over Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Or Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Derek Carr just needs guidance, but I don't know where that is. Even better scoring than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, man. I don't know if it's the defense or like learning how Patrick Mahomes plays or something. Like, I don't understand how he's playing so bad this year.
Either way, all across the board. Let's look at the pieces that got us over 20 to actually matter. Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, doing an air monster weekend, both of them. Freaking 50 points back between both of them.
Well, and it's tight end Dallas Goddard, 22.5. That, I mean, those are monster games by individual pieces.
Yeah, you got Gardner Minshew quarterback, and the Jets really don't know what to do against that because they don't know really what to do against anything that they don't know about.
That's true.
But we're looking at Chris Godwin getting a decent amount of attention from Tom Brady alongside Gronkowski. We're looking at Tyreek Hill being our dog this week. We're looking at Eckler doing okay.
Well, his score is okay, but in the game, Eckler almost lost the Chargers that game with 2 nasty fumbles.
2 fumbles, you serious?
One was close to the goal line, and I don't know what was going on with Eckler at first.
We've been bragging about Eckler all season. He just had a horrible game.
But he did score the touchdown at the end to give him the go-ahead win. Well,
he's okay.
They helped on him, but
he's all right.
He just had a bad game. But
either way,
Hunters lost to Moose. Moose is now has a commanding number 1 in their division with that win over Hunters. Hunters right behind it, but now Hunters is in. He's in the hunt to just try to make the playoffs because he gotta win. You gotta keep winning.
He was just 1 game behind.
Yep. Yes, we got 2 more weeks. Week 14, week 15. So 2 more weeks for the playoffs. It's starting to seem like for sure, well, not for sure, but the teams that are top is Meanies and, of course, Moose, Army, and Nothing Sacred is fighting for the last 2 spots. And then right behind Army and Nothing Sacred is me and Hunters. So me and Hunters are out of the playoffs right now. And the only way we can get in is if we keep winning and Nothing is Sacred or Army loses. If either one of them lose because they don't have as many points scored as me or Hunters, that will take their spot. All we gotta do is tie their record, and we're only 1 game behind them. Hunters was in, but then he lost. Should have won that game.
2 more weeks, y'all.
Big Green Meanies is the previous year's champion. So not only is he previous year's champion, he's in number 1 spot, and he has a chance to finish number 1 this season. I gotta look in the KFL history books to see if the previous year champion finished number 1 in the season the following year. I don't think that's happened before.
There's a lot of pieces to brag about, especially that combo we keep talking about.
Oh yeah, the Matthew Stafford Cooper Cup is keeping him going. Then he's got Lamar Jackson. Yeah, some games he only scores 17 points, which only anybody take that. But some games he be scoring like 30.
But hey, 2 more weeks of playoffs. We'll see what happens. People could get hurt. People could be getting pulled in, out, whatever. We'll see what happens.
All right, so that's it for this week, KFFL.
That's it. We're out.